Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today's video is all about reading your snakes. That's right, you can actually read a snake. I mean, literally read it. They're going to tell you all kinds of stuff if you read them. I'll show you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove to you that I can physically read a snake, and so can you. You ready for this? This is going to be amazing. This is mind-blowing right here. So take this snake here. This is our Calitz girl. Oh boy, let's take a look at her. Can I physically... Oh, this snake here, by reading it, doing nothing else other than looking at it to read it, I can tell you it is species confused, okay? I may have to take it to a psychologist over it because it's just got so much confusion. And it tells you right there, it says boa. See that? That's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about reading your snakes and, and their behaviors. Reading the body language of a snake, okay? Uh-oh, coronavirus. See, well, we do the right thing. We hand sanitize, clean my elbow. Yeah, Joe Biden. You don't sit in your... Don't do that anymore. You're supposed to do your elbow. Hear that, Joe Biden? Wait a minute, I forgot. Joe Biden's really old. Biden, cough in your elbow, Grandpa. Come on, Biden, right there. Of course, I could also yell at Trump because you can't sit there and talk about social distancing and standing shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of people. What the fuck, man? Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I ain't going to get out of that COVID joke. So... let's talk about reading snakes when it comes to breeding, because that's one of the main ways we're going to read them, right? A few of the things you're going to see, and I'm not able to throw them on the table and get them to do these behaviors. You're going to have to just trust me and look at them. We will show some behaviors on this table, though, or some snakes I know will cooperate. First one you're going to see is sometimes you'll see a female wag her tail. So when you put her in that cage, that tail is going to wag. It can also be a sign of aggression if you get one really pissed off. But in this case, you'll see that tail wagging. It'll often be in the air. That is a great sign. She's kind of saying, hey, big boy, come get me. I mean, she's literally on the dance floor shaking that ass, right? That's what she's doing. So that is a great sign for her being interested. The next thing you're going to see is, this doesn't work. Did your stomach just growl? Oh, no, it's the floor creaking. Sorry, squirrel. I know, shiny. Is they're going to piss and they're going to shit in that tub. They're going to wreck that tub. If you see people breeding snakes, like literally in the act of breeding, and the tubs are always pristine, it's because they're cleaning it before they show it to you. They typically are going to mark, they're going to spray, they're going to do all kinds of things. They're kind of into some dirty stuff. So that's typical behavior for them to do. That's a good sign, right? The next thing is what I call the male push. We'll see if this male will push for us if I get him out. He may not do it if I bring him out. We're going to see though, because you know, it's kind of cool. This will kind of tell you a lot of times if you have a really good breeding male. This guy's awesome. He'll literally breed anything. It was one of my first snakes I ever got. First ball pythons I ever got anyway. Not one of my first snakes. But when you rub the side of them, they'll behave differently on your males. They'll start to push against your hand. We moved him out of the tub and now he's not going to do it. You know, it's almost like a live show. You gonna push? Like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, what will happen is you can see he's shrinking away, but when you rub the side of them, and it is in tub, he was doing it before we did this, what will happen is they'll take their body and they'll literally push it against your hand, almost trying to push it to the side. And it's because they're interpreting this movement in a comfortable area, not the table, as something else rubbing against them. Don't go down there, you'll get in the hinge and be a pain in the butt. So then they're looking for breed mode. You're not going to do it now, but he was doing it. And you'll know when you feel it. I mean, it's literally a push against your hand. Like, he'd just like, oh, trying to slam your hand to the side of the tub. That is usually a very good sign for them wanting to breed. Since he was doing it earlier, where is it you go? I know you're breeding somebody. Where are you breeding? So I write stuff down. Where do you go? Where do you... right there. Go into our calico. Since he was all acting like that, we're going to go ahead and get him started. Go on, buddy. Yeah. Rock it out. Let's see if he'll breed for us. Now, that's kind of some of the breeding things I like to look for. Definitely the push tells me my girls are in season. And then you see the tail wag. You're probably going to get a lock within a few hours of that. Let's talk about some bite posture. And we've done some videos on this before, but I'll show it to you again. We're going to use the exact same snake, okay? She has calmed down some, but not a ton. I mean... granted, if I handled her every day, like if she was a pet, she'd calm down a lot. See, when I pick her up, her body is very stiff. That is very defensive. We're not really moving. We're thinking, do we need to protect her head? What do we need to do? She is sitting there stiff. So you got to watch that. When they're stiff, if you come in front of them, your chances of getting struck at or bit are quite high, okay? That's why they're being stiff. So that's the first thing you realize is a super stiff body posture. And then now you can see, look at that. So she's setting up. She's in an unfamiliar environment. We're not in our tub. And we have a stiff body. So now we are definitely set up to have a strike if she was so inclined. She is got me targeted up. She can strike from this position. She's holding that head up. She's got that curve, that stiff posture. All those things are telling me now that this snake will bite me if I come at its face, okay? If I was in Kurt's position, I could work around behind it. If you don't want to get bit, there's a couple things you can do when a snake's in this position. They're not going to understand, you know, the same, like I can't talk to it, like, oh, it's okay, little snake, and they don't give a shit. But they're in a defensive mode. I do have the ability at this point to change its behavior and not take that bite most of the time. It's still an animal. It's going to do what animals do. So before I let it start to strike at me, I'm going to take a hook. Right here is my small viper hook. And we're just going to touch on those. It's not warm, so it doesn't see it as a threat. Say I can do that. Heat pits aren't picking up. It doesn't care. It's still focused on me. If my hand were to move, see, we're going to focus with that. But this, no care. And I can just tap it. I'm not going to hit it hard, just a little touch. You see it's kind of moving? We can kind of guide that. And eventually what we should get, maybe, is, well, maybe not today. There we go. We're going to eventually get, hopefully, a snake in a ball. No, come on. And again, you're not having to force it. You're just that touch. And you're just changing the type of defensive behavior it is. And then I can pick it up, and I can move it and do what I want. Still not going to come up from its face. It's still loaded and ready to go. But you're going to get it into that ball. Another thing you can do when you have a snake showing a lot of defensive, which is all this is. She's not mean. She just, I mean, we don't handle her constantly, right? So this is all just being defensive. I can literally come from behind and just, I can do it myself with my fingers. Now, if I come from the front, I'm going to get bit doing that. But that's kind of how you do that, right? Oh, I know, girlie. I'll quit pissing you off now and put you back. And there. Oh, my God. She actually went into the full ball. That's what you're really looking for. When you get to this level, we'll scale on you there, you're going to be good to go. You know, now she can still come out of there and bite if she wants to. You know, I can just kind of touch her, get her curling up tighter. And the ball is very safe for her and very safe for me. She's protecting her head. That's where the name comes from. So you can change that behavior without getting bit. Again, if you won't want to ever take a bite, these tools are good for more than just picking a snake up. They can be used for just that tap and that guide and that change in behavior. Especially if you got one backed up in the back of a tub, you know, and there's no way to come at it. This can be a better for you and better for it, right? Not that a bite's bad. It ain't going to do nothing to you. But they can break teeth. So this is about protecting them. If you don't want to buy a hook, you can use anything that's got some length to it to keep your hand out of the way, right? So there is that. Now, let's talk about some egg behavior. Let's say you've watched your breeding behavior. You're putting your snakes together. Good things are happening. You've seen some locks. What are you going to get? One of the first things you're going to see from your females is a female cooling. Do I have any cooling? You're not cooling. You're not cooling. Are you cooling? You're not cooling. You're in shed. Oh yeah, you're a dude. I know you're not cooling. I don't think you're cooling. Nope, you're not cooling. We're kind of a little past the cooling point for a lot of these. It's one of our problems, which is good for us, right? Maybe you? Nope, you just shed though. Yes, you did do that. You're looking good. But what they'll do is they'll stay more to the front of their tub if you're running back heat, or you'll see them wrap around their bowl. I thought I would have one wrapped around their bowl, but it's just not, it's not looking like we're going to get that right now. Oh well, I'll take it. Actually, I think I remember which one it was. Nope. No, not going to find one. But they'll wrap around their bowl to cool off. That's a good sign. It's usually building follicles. They're trying to cool down. A lot of times they're going to be eating really, really good at that point. They're going to eat really, really good up until ovulation typically, and they're going to slow down. So after they do the bowl wrapping and everything else, you're going to start seeing a lot of growth, and that'll lead to an ovulation, which is a swell. And like, I'll make a point. So I'm going to get you out a feed sheet so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with some of these girls. Let's see. How have you been doing? Oh, it's really fun to watch me flip through sheets, right? Should have picked that out before, but you know. How do we make that? No, that's the right jump. Never mind. Okay, that one's been eating good. So this is one. Don't want to mess up these sheets. That has been eating really good for us. And you can see she's taking in tons of food, right? We weren't, then we ate a little, and then bam, 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 bam. So she is in that point where she's still packing on a lot of weight. She's not really cooling, but she is packing on the weight. Well, I'll show you this girl right now. So I'm not expecting eggs out of her. We're still continually breeding her. But you can see she is getting that body swell going on where we want. She will take a huge poop, but she is not ready. A lot of people look at this and say, oh, she's ready to pop. I don't think she is. I think we are still doing some of that, working our way up there. We'll probably shut down our food intake here very, very soon. Now, I still offer them food the whole time. That's just me. We put that feed sheet back. And then I'll show you some other snakes that are, let's see, where is one I'm looking for? This is one that I don't think is eating as well right now. Oh, I'm going to see why. Oh, I think it already went down. Well, you can see that swell right there too, mid-body. So that's going to get about that big at ovulation time on her typically. We may actually already be shrinking down. Because I think we checked her the other day, Kurt, she was bigger, wasn't she?
Yep.
Yeah. So let me find you another one that's going to show what I want to show. I know we got them in here. You're not. You're a pain in my butt. Not you. Not you. You. So this is another snake that's just massive. This is the kind of growth you're also looking for. And there you can see that swell. Now, I don't think she's ovulated quite yet, but you can certainly see where we're working towards that ovulation. That is a snake that's going to have eggs. If you're not seeing it, it's right here. Like I told you, look how big around we are in the middle. So up here, we're about, about here. But I cannot fit that there. It's just this hard rock mass. You're seeing a lot of scales like stretching out. That is a really good sign. This is going to get even bigger. It's going to go out to about that, and then it'll go right back down. So this is a snake that's now probably not eating very well. I'll check her sheet and show you what I'm seeing. So that is Demeter. And I can look at that snake because I can read that body decently. I mean, I'm not the world's best at it. And know that it's likely not eating well. And it skipped this week for the first time. So it's eating good, right? We shut down right here. I'm going to bet negative, 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 because that is the beginning of ovulation. There's no food in there. I already cleaned up her poop. So we're going to stop. We just got to catch it right then. Before that, you can see we ate really good. Missed a few, ate, missed a few, ate. Large rat, medium rat, missed a few, ate. I mean, we're kind of hit and miss. Two mediums. So you can see the two mediums, large. You can kind of see what she's been doing over time. And then to shut down. And she's likely going to be completely shut down for a while. That'd be my bet. This is a snake that's a female that's showing no signs of, well, she's in shed now too, of wanting to breed or anything. And we're not breeding her, so I don't expect her to swell or do anything. I mean, this is a normal body condition of a female, right? She's a little thin because she's the one that retained the eggs last year, so it was a little bit hard getting her back on food. We still are kind of getting her eating really hardcore, but you can see the difference when you read that body. I'll show you a few more things really quick. Let's see how you're looking. Oh, you're sitting on your own shed. Get that out of there. Now she's sitting back there in the warm area. And this is a snake this is one that's confusing me. So you can't always read them, but one thing you can look for, I don't know how it's going to pick up the camera, is this part of the tail will start to suck in like a V. You can probably see it a little bit there. That is also a good sign. It's called tail suck. Tail suck is an indication that good things are coming. So it's something else you can look for. And then you're going to get to nesting behavior. I'm going to pull this entire cage out to show you nesting behavior because I don't want to really disturb this too much. So what's happened here, this is a snake that's not eating for a long time now. We'll check, see how long it's been. She's what we call the het pied knot. and she is pretty early on in her feed sheets. It's probably been, I don't know, I bet at least a month since she had her last meal of any significance. Yeah, there it is. Longer than that. So we were eating really good, took a little break, ate some, took a little break, ate some, as you're kind of seeing, then we stopped. So we took that one meal after missing a few, and then starting January 10th, she hasn't eaten. But you look at her, she looks massive, right? She's also pushed the litter away. You can see this litter wall here. So she's pushing that litter out. She's laying on her heat, and she is going to start laying eggs. Like, this is a snake that is at that point. This is why her incubator's on right here. It's because the snake's sitting like this. She's also pissed off. Hear that? You gonna growl at me again? No? Okay. We'll put her up. So that is kind of what you're looking for. One thing we didn't observe today, but if you're on our Patreon, you've seen pictures of it lately, we do show that, is another thing you'll see from your snakes that are building this side lane. And that is where they put their belly to the sky, not all the way up usually. I've seen it, but usually just to the side, and they lay on their side. And it's just more of a comfort thing, I think, than anything for them, as everything's kind of shifting and growing in there. Maybe it's a heat thing, trying to warm the right parts or temperature control the bottom. I couldn't tell you exactly why they do it, but I do know it is a pretty good indication of good things to happen, although I don't see anything side laying right now. But they'll side lay for a few hours and then stop. So you kind of just catch them as you're looking. That's kind of how that works. So that's how we read our snakes. It's how we read our snakes to not get bit. Not that it always works. It's how we read our snakes to see what's happening on eggs, although it still confuses us a lot of times. That's how we also read our snakes to see when our males are ready to breed, although not all of them cooperate. But it is some good things you can look for, and also if one of yours happens to say boa and be species confused. So in the comments, if you save for this whole thing, please write down words you found on your snake or symbols you found. I know I have seen the word boa, I've seen hearts, I've seen emojis, and I've seen a dick and balls. So tell me what you found in your snake's pattern. Let's see it. All right, Kurt, anything you want to add?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.